You want to know how I know the first movie came out so long ago? That I noticed that Miss Elastigirl, she has just.
You didn't know that before?
No.
Are you serious?
I mean, I was like, what? That other one came out 11 years ago. I was like 21. I mean,
There's so first of all, Elastigirl can get it, and everyone knows that. Okay. Now, as much as I would like to fixate on that portion of the film, and I do, believe me, let's not. Otherwise, this is gonna get real pervy real quick.
yeah,
That was really great.
that was really good.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, it's in my top couple of the year.
Yeah, I thought it on the way out. It's in my top 5 for
Yeah.
sure. There's been a lot of good movies this year, and that.
This was, people say that The First Incredibles is among the best superhero movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to agree, and I would also put this up there too.
See, I only watched that First Incredibles maybe once.
You gotta watch it again, man.
And
it's
I liked
legit.
it.
You gotta watch it again.
I liked it. I like this one a lot.
Mhm.
I think I like this one, just thinking back, more than I like the first one.
It's enjoyable. I don't know. It's so hard to say. There's so much nostalgia for the first one.
Yeah.
And you had the villain. I thought the villain was maybe better in the first one.
Yeah.
But this was fantastic.
Yeah.
And they got all the same voice talent back. Everyone's great. The story here is interesting. A little bit predictable that she ended up being the villain.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of picked that out pretty quick.
In the trailers, just seeing the trailers, I thought maybe Bob Odenkirk's character was gonna be, just because, and he's a really good villain and stuff. But no, yeah. As soon as she said technology and knowing the trailer was screenslaver,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's her.
Yeah.
Which didn't hamper it for me at all, though.
No, because for me, it's a simple film.
Mm-hmm.
The action in this is up there with the best, like any Marvel movie. Almost, and there's maybe one or two Marvel movies that have as good an action as The Incredibles do. And they do such a perfect job of blending the powers. You get like Frozone will come sweeping in,
Yeah.
and then she'll wrap herself around something,
Yeah.
and then Incredible will break something open. Like their little move at the end to stop that ship was awesome. Like
Yeah.
the team ups with the superpowers are so great in this.
Yep.
And even when Elastigirl's on her own,
She's awesome.
She's effectively Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which I realized at one point in here, she is amazing. I would watch an Elastigirl movie on her own.
Yeah.
Holly Hunter's voice, I love more than any. Like,
You know what was really interesting is seeing some of the voice actors. You can tell, like with Elastigirl, they even have her mouth.
her mouth, yeah.
That being said, there was some. I did have some issues with some of the dub, the voice dub.
Oh yeah.
There was times where it looked off, like, and I noticed it in the trailer too. Sam Jackson, Frozone, that the mouth, and it might just be because of the way he talks. It's hard to match it and look good. But yeah, I did like Holly Hunter. Who did the voice for Screensaver Girl?
That is Catherine Keener.
Okay.
She's a 40-year-old virgin, bad mom in Get Out.
Yeah.
She's amazing. I love her voice too.
Yeah, and you could even see too sometimes her mouth would do different things. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep. Just brilliant superheroing in this. Every bit of action was super well thought out.
Yeah.
Like, just every second of it. All of the Jack stuff. Now, I hate cute in movies. Can't stand it.
Yeah.
I love the Despicable Me. Hate the Minions.
Yeah.
Pick any movie. Whatever the adorable thing is in it drives me crazy. Jack is the exception.
Jack is awesome.
I was laughing so hard at everything Jack does.
I was loving it.
All of his powers, all of his cute, like, goo. Like, I was absolutely in for Jack.
Yeah, I'm not a huge, like, fan of babies, but Jack was killing me. Every time. I just wanted more. Every time he's on the screen, I wanted more. And it's because I think he has a little bit more to him than some of the, like, Baby Groot just does the same thing.
Yeah.
But Jack has all these different powers, and he has the whole, like, he even has kind of a little storyline with the reason he's kind of acting out is he misses his mom.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's just different things with him.
Not to mention, Jack fighting a raccoon, for one thing, is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And for two, that would be the best scene in 98% of action movies. Seriously, Justin, it's a joke scene with him fighting a freaking raccoon, and it was the best action I've seen in months.
Yeah. No, that was great.
They were great. I loved Violet's story. I thought Dash kind of got he kind of got low-broed on this one.
He was more of the comedic relief in the first one, from what I remember. And
he was more in the forefront than Violet was in the first one.
Yeah.
And so this one, they kind of flipped that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely had the more of, like, kind of the girl power in this one. Which, and I thought, too, with Mr. Incredible, like, how he was very apprehensive with the last girl taking over. That seemed kind of weird to me at first, but then they moved away from it. He learned his lesson or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just thought, like, maybe not throw it on so much there, but it paid off in the end. So I thought that was kind of a funny little storyline.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, there's so many themes in this, and that's what I think made the first Incredibles really great, and this one just continues more the same. It's a legit family with legit family problems.
Yeah.
And they do it better than, and it's not that hasn't been tried before, but they do it better than almost everyone else.
The thing is, too, which is weird, is that this takes place directly after the first one.
That's hard to get your mind around, isn't it?
And yeah, which has been 11 years and 14 years.
Yeah.
Jesus. And I've always been confused on when this takes place because all the TVs and stuff look from they're for the 50s.
Yeah. No cell phones.
Right. And they have cordless phones, but that was in the really nice expensive house. But then all the technology is super advanced.
Yeah, it's whatever the vague time period is, I like.
Yeah.
This was just really great. I love the soundtrack to this.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of old school James Bondy kind of noir music.
Yeah. Which makes me think of it being 50s or 60s.
Yeah, yeah. The story to this, while simple, was good. Like I said, even though you're predicting who the villain is, it still played out in a way that was satisfying.
Honestly, I think I had more fun with the Mr. Incredible, Mr. Mom thing going on. Those scenes, I was like, I wanted more of those. I just kept wanting to go back home and seeing him mess around with Jack and try to balance everything.
Well, not only was it cute, but it was real and it was endearing and it was emotionally impactful. When he stays up all night to help with his homework, I was like, I'm touched.
Yeah.
That stuff was cool. They did so much here.
Yeah.
We could talk for an hour about all the different little plot lines and things that they had. Really great cameo from Edna Mode.
Yeah.
She was great. Taking care of Jack. Her whole thing is just hilarious.
Yeah. Too. Yeah, she definitely wasn't in it as much as the first one. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was weird to me though, just finding myself wanting more of the home stuff as opposed to the action and all that. And just the home stuff was funnier when Sam Jackson comes over, Frozone comes over, he's helping out. I just loved every time that someone new saw Jack. They were always just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, because every time someone picks him up, you're like, oh wait, here it comes.
So in the trailer, he does the cookie thing, and it's still every time I saw the trailer and in this, I laughed. It just cookie dum cookie. It's great.
I'm trying to think of a movie this year I've liked better, and I'm sure there are a couple because I just got done out of this.
Right. Well, you can say that for any movie that you really like.
This is really up there.
It's good.
Oh man, they nail every part of it really.
Yeah. I realized about halfway through that I had a smile on my face almost the entire time.
Yeah.
It's we say this about a lot of movies, but it really is. It's fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, there's no wasted motion. I never felt like that. Like there was a scene that I was like, oh, this could be good.
Yep.
Never felt like that.
It was fast.
It was 2 entire hours.
Yeah, it was about 2 hours.
And no wasted motion.
Yep, it was fast. It went by like that. So that was great.
I mean, you just keep heaping praise. Ordinarily, it's like, okay, what do we generally think? What's great about it, and then what's bad about it? I honestly don't know anything bad.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just, and because I noticed in the trailer, it was the dubbing. There were some times where the dubbing was off, and it was kind of distracting. And I knew it wasn't the theater because I had seen the same that scene in the movie where Frozone says he's leaving, and his wife's like, "You better be back ASAP" or whatever. That scene, and I noticed it in the movie too. His when he's saying he's leaving or whatever is off, and I saw it on multiple screens, that trailer, and it's always off a little bit. That's a little nitpicky, but
well, when a movie's this good, you got to make a nitpick.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is the plot was pretty straightforward, predictable, but that's okay.
That's almost every superhero movie.
Yeah.
Name 5 superhero movies that aren't that, and I'll give you $100.
I did enjoy that there wasn't everyone fought like a lot of movies like this when it's a team up, like end of the second act they get in a fight and separate. They didn't really do that.
Yeah, that was nice. And it was cool, and they didn't fight together much, but when they came back together it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I did like too all of the different, they added some new characters in there.
The new ones were fun.
The portal one, whatever her name was. That was cool. The reflex guy was killing it.
That was disgusting. And I loved it. Every time he would
he got all like bloated up like a frog.
Oh, that was gross. But then he's this old ass man.
Yeah.
And that was so funny. Like the crusher guy.
Yeah.
When Mr. Incredible's trying to get him to uncrush the Hulk, he's like, how do you you can't uncrush. Why would you uncrush?
Right. You don't unpunch.
Yeah.
Oh man. There's one thing that bothers me about about Dash and Mr. Incredible. The first one of Dash, he's supposed to be really fast, but he doesn't seem that fast. Like even his running is just like
yeah.
It's not like the Flash where it's like, you know. And then Mr. Incredible, I don't understand the limit of his strength, because like he's trying to bust through that door in that mole person's thing, but then he can like stop the tank, you know, like
yeah.
What is his limit?
Yeah, he's as powerful as he should be for the scene.
Yeah. So that, again, nitpicky, but
it was cool. I mean, obviously very progressive, forward-thinking. You mentioned the girl power in this. I think it's interesting how they take Mr. Incredible, who 50 years ago, of course, is the perfect specimen, essentially Superman, and they make him, he's bland and the everyman and on the side, and the way he fights is stupid because he breaks everything, and they introduce the finesse as the more desirable thing with Elastigirl. I just thought it was interesting the way they kind of, I don't know if that was more of an attempt at a character thing for him or a commentary on something bigger, but
probably both.
It made a lot of sense to do it that way. And then you bring in Dash and Violet have to come save the day at the end when the parents are in peril, which there's a similar portion of the first one, but yeah, it really just, man,
it made sense that this came out now, because I don't think you could have done that storyline 14 years ago.
It wouldn't have been as impactful.
No, and I don't think it'd have been as well received. And I think honestly, just because a lot of people have been asking for this for really 13 years now, you know, and I think the wait helped it in a lot of ways.
I think so.
It gave them time to make the movie that was supposed to be right. They made it for the time now, and being able to bring everyone back together and not be such a hassle doing it, because that can happen sometimes with the sequels. It made a lot of sense. I think it's going to make a ton of money, and I know it's already well received, so
yeah. No, this is fantastic. Yeah, and the way, I mean, they had a little bit at the beginning where they came out and said thanks for waiting and here's the movie and stuff. And that made a lot of sense. I mean, you do have to write a good story, then you have to animate it. And so many times during this movie, especially during the combat scenes, I'm thinking, oh my God, like that's so creative to think of. Then you have to think of it. You have to make it make sense in the context of a scene, draw it, and then animate it.
Yeah.
And all of that.
And put the voices on.
Then put the voices on, put the sound effects on. Like, there were a lot of little parts of this movie that made me stop and think, damn, like I have such an appreciation for this type of movie.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Awesome. Incredible.
You had to.
Yeah.
This is right, I mean, seriously, like, this is right up there with my favorite Pixar movies.
Yeah.
At least. And probably way up there on my superhero movies, too.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it some more thought. Obviously, there's some recency bias or whatever, but this was really, really good.
It was. I agree. Yeah, it's definitely in my top for the year so far. Not the top, but in my top, probably 5 or so. And yeah, it's on my list for Pixar.
If there's one thing I think that we need to like make sure is repeated, it's that Elastigirl can get it.